Welcome to Riot, welcome to Radical Impartation of Truth. It's great to have you on the show today, and Anu, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Well, pleasure to have you always. Recently, we've not been bringing you our Christian Weekly News on the show on Riot because Christian Weekly News on its own seems to be gaining momentum. But we're going to start today's show by just giving you a taste of this week's Christian Weekly News.
Hello, my name is Anu Omideyi with headlines of this week's Christian Weekly News. The UK premiere of the major Christian film God's Not Dead 2 is set for release next week Friday, the 22nd of April, at the Open Door Cinema in Crystal Palace. Church previews and nationwide screenings will follow that weekend. And you can support the film by attending a screening on the opening weekend or organising one for your church or group. Here's the trailer for the film, which is sponsored in the UK by Christian Concern, amongst others.
I hate what people like your clients stand for. We're going to prove once and for all that God is dead.
You're passionate about what you believe. I mean, let's face it, it's why you're in trouble in the first place.
A student asked a question about remarks allegedly made by Jesus, and your answer incorporated Scripture itself.
Yes. What were you thinking, Grace? I gave an honest answer to a student's legitimate question. I am not going to be afraid to say the name Jesus.
They're asking that you be fired, plus revocation of your teaching certificate. You're on your own.
So what's the good news?
I don't like to lose.
They've been dreaming of a case like this.
They want to make an example of you.
Her true motivation was to take an innocent question and turn it into an opportunity to preach.
The message of the gospel has us standing in the way of a lot of things that powerful people want. We're at war.
On the order in the matter of Thorley versus Wesley.
Mr. Kane will insist faith isn't on trial here, but that is exactly what is on trial.
If we grant Miss Wesley the right to violate the law, then our society will crumble.
The four gospels contain the actual words of Jesus.
You're looking to prove Jesus Christ existed? That's ridiculous.
If we're going to insist that a Christian's right to believe is subordinate to all other rights, then it's not a right. Somebody is always going to be offended.
God's not dead, he's surely alive. Come on. God's not dead, he's surely alive. He's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. God's not dead, he's surely alive. He's living on the inside, roaring like a lion.
Have you reached a decision?
I would rather stand with God and be judged by the world than stand with the world and be judged by God.
God's not dead, he's surely alive.
God bless you.
Careful, or you might end up on trial.
He's living on the inside.
In other news, an online petition was launched earlier this month to stop the erection of part of the temple of a pagan god Baal in Trafalgar Square on the 19th of April. The Institute for Digital Archaeology's Executive Director, Roger Michel, stated that the reconstruction of an arch of the temple is a political statement, a call to action to draw attention to what's happening in Syria and Iraq. However, Voice for Justice UK, who launched the online petition, says that it does not take issue with the cause, but states that the reconstruction symbolises a pagan god who demanded regular child sacrifices and represents all that is evil. Voice for Justice UK also state that the date of the reconstruction is significant, as April the 19th in occult belief is said to mark the first day of a 13-day period known as blood sacrifice to the beast. The petition seeks to gain 10,000 signatures. And finally, the journalist Piers Morgan will not be sanctioned for calling Richard Page a homophobe, bigot and anti-gay, as the media watchdog Ofcom ruled that Mr. Morgan did not discriminate against Mr. Page. Mr. Morgan interviewed Mr. Page on ITV's Good Morning Britain following Mr. Page's removal by the Lord Chancellor from the Office of Magistrate because of his views on adoption by same-sex couples. Mr. Page attempted to explain that he's not homophobic and set out the reasons why. But the interview prompted 70 complaints that Mr. Morgan was offensive and discriminatory towards Christians. Ofcom concluded that the interview was balanced and found no evidence of discrimination. Well, that's all for today. I'm Anu Omidei, and you're watching Christian Weekly News.
Welcome back. Well, we're going to be dealing with some of the things you talked about on Christian Weekly News. But before we go too deep into that, talking about God's Not Dead, because I think I have a personal interest in that show simply because I was heavily involved in God's Not Dead, the first God's Not Dead, and we're able to take it to Nigeria and to Africa, and the response was amazing.
Yeah.
We did some red carpets, and it was just good to see people responding to Christian and biblical movies. So maybe what we should do starting today's show is to flash back. On and off on this show, we like to flash back. Let's flash back to some of our experiences when we took God's Not Dead to Nigeria. Welcome to Abuja, welcome to Nigeria, welcome to the screening of God Is Not Dead. And as we say here in Abuja, Sanunku, I'm loving the native attire. I know, thank you very much. And I have the Master of Ceremony who is going to be leading proceedings today. What do you feel about the release of God's Not Dead in Abuja?
I've seen beautiful people, I've seen great people. God obviously is not dead, the weather is cooperating, it's a lovely atmosphere, there's a lot of excitement in the air, people are right here, they are expecting and they are waiting, and we're going to start the screening shortly.
Citadel, Abuja, live and direct, and I'm going to put someone on the spot. He doesn't even know we're filming. Let's go. Unrehearsed. I'm putting the man himself on the spot. No rehearsals, live. We have our host in the house, and I'd just like to ask him a few questions. What is happening here tonight, sir?
Well, we are airing the Hollywood movie God Is Not Dead. And I'm told reliably it's the very first time in Nigeria. We are honored and privileged to be a partner to Kingdom Cinema to make this happen in Nigeria.
It's such an honor to have us at the Citadel. Pastor Ubi, God bless you. Thank you so much. Do you want to give a shout out to London and to all our viewers?
London, UK, stay well. We look forward to joining you sometime soon. Enjoy the cold. We're enjoying the warmth of Africa, Nigeria. Bye.
Finally, there are a lot of Americans wondering what's going to happen with God's Not Dead in Nigeria. Can we tell them?
Well, you guys in America, there's something about God in Africa. I'm sure you know that now, more so in these times. It kind of seems that revival is being stirred in Africa and Nigeria. Don't be jealous. It's all about challenging one another to good works. Keep on the good works there whilst we do the same likewise here. God's blessings. Good heart equipment.
God's Not Dead in Nigeria. What do you think?
Awesome, really awesome, really awesome. The title is very exciting and intriguing. I'd like to find out, but I know God is not dead. So I'd like to see how it comes out. But I'm excited about it.
Well, I'm excited. I'm eager to find out what the movie is all about. So I'm excited about the people that are there, especially Kevin Sobel. I used to see him in Legend of Hercules, and now he's acting in Christian movies. It's really nice.
Despite the situation of the nation right now, I think God is on the throne, He's alive, and for that reason we're alive too. We can keep moving on.
I think it's fun. I think it's going to be a wonderful movie. Something I'm really looking forward to.
Absolutely excited. I think this is like my best movie experience. I have my 10-month-old baby here. I have my entire family here actually. Very interesting movie. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I believe it's going to be a wonderful experience.
Riot, welcome back to Radical Impartation of Truth. I'm a film producer. We're working presently on 2 or 3 documentaries at the moment, and we're also developing fresh content. So it's good to see that Christian movies have come to stay. Christian movies and movies with a sound biblical worldview.
It's really good. I mean, we just had Risen in the UK, and I'm sure worldwide, over the Easter period. And before that, we've also had, although not in the UK yet, there's Miracles from Heaven. You've had the War Room last year, which was a huge success worldwide.
Let me ask you about War Room. What was the best part of War Room for you?
I love War Room. Do you know, I couldn't point to a particular bit. War Room, honestly, I would say War Room was life-changing for me. As soon as I saw that film, I created my own War Room. So my spare room in my house is my war room.
Your own closet.
I have my own war room. It was genuinely life-changing. And, you know, my prayer life, although I used to pray before, it's not a lie. I am a Christian. But my prayer life really rocketed after I watched that film. It had a profound impact on me. And I love the fact that it was so successful, you know, worldwide.
It was well done.
Yeah, it was really well done. It was really well done. What was your favourite part of that film?
My wife has gotten the DVD. So it's played over and over.
Okay. So you've watched it so many times.
I just 2 days ago, my wife put it on and she's like, let's watch War Room. And we're watching, and my daughter came in, War Room again, you know? And I kind of generally like films that are a bit more fast-paced, you know? But I like the story. I like the fact that overall what it stands for.
Yeah.
Because generally, historically, it's not every Christian movie that has very sound biblical stands.
Yeah, I agree.
Sometimes the quality is very good, but then you notice that the story is a bit
watered down.
You know, but this has a strong scriptural basis and very clear message of the kingdom, you know, emphasizing something that is not what churches celebrate too much.
Yeah,
prayers.
That's right.
You know, praying, which is what we're going to be doing at Spirit Life. We're going to be just spending time with God, worshiping, praying, and waiting on Him at the ever first
segue. That's
you know?
A good segue. That's really nicely done.
Audience of one, yeah.
Audience of one. I'm really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to worshiping.
I have a simple question for you, which we've not rehearsed. Should we lose the chairs or leave the chairs? Because what we want to do is worship.
I think we should leave the chairs.
Okay.
Because because there's a time when sometimes, you know, almost like King David, when he just sat in the presence of the Lord and just said, who am I? You know, what is my house? And who am I that you think so highly of me? You know, sometimes you're overwhelmed with the time of worship and you literally just need
to sit
and just give yourself that moment to just come down a bit from you know, the heights that the worship has taken you to, and just consider what God has done. And then when the fresh time comes up, you're back on your feet, jumping up and down.
Brilliant. And not just that. I mean, one of the things we've been doing here is not just cover events like we're going to be doing live, and hopefully by God's grace we're going to be bringing the event live. So on this show we'll bring you highlights again. We are working on seeing how we want to bring some of our programming from Icontowers Studio to you live, so you can call in, you can watch live online, so watch this space. Let's flash back to the recent program we had called Reset 2.1. It was awesome. It was a time of retooling and retuning. It was a time of refreshing. It was a time of energizing. It was just amazing. Check this out.
God's intention is for you to operate as a representative of His kingdom here on earth. Do you have what it takes to be all He wants you to be? Get ready for Reset 2.1. Join Bob and Teju Alengay for a time of rediscovery, revival, refreshing, rejuvenation, and reawakening. This promises to be life-changing. It's Reset 2.1, the Spirit Life Seminar. Your time to be unstoppable is here.
Start thinking of your transformational message. Who are you called to serve? What is the outcome of your service? And create your transformational message. I'm still working on mine. I said, I help leaders share their message so that they can make more impact and more money within their niche.
World Health Organization, Switzerland. Red Cross, Switzerland. Best banking system, Switzerland. The only nation that has ever enjoyed the longest period of prosperity without any wars, Switzerland. I can keep on counting. Guess what? A disciple of John Calvin moved to Scotland. His name was John Knox. I can never forget sitting in the office of the British ambassador to Nigeria, because we received a VIP guest from the UK who was an MBE. And while we were talking to the ambassador, I saw a booklet on his table. And I picked up the booklet. He said, yeah, that's about our educational system. And the first page, it says the current British educational system owes its structure, its power, and in case you didn't know, Britain's greatest export is not oil, it's not timber, it's education. The whole world comes here to study. Everybody comes here to study. I could give you statistics. The largest immigrant group, or the largest group that come here to study, is China. The second largest group that comes here to study is Nigeria. The third largest group that comes here to study is Americans. Americans. United States of America. Britain's biggest and most powerful influence and export is not a commodity, it's education. It says the current British educational system owes its success and owes its structure to the works of a man called John Knox. John Knox was a disciple of John Calvin, who came and brought the principles of Reformation into the UK. He became so successful in Scotland that Mary, the Queen of Scots, brought him from Scotland, brought him into England, and based him in London, and he established the roots and the foundations of the British educational system and the principles of the Reformation upon this country, from whence you got the Parliament and so much else. Is there somebody hearing what I'm saying? Yes. Every time you turn on the keys of the kingdom, mankind develops.
What makes one a chosen vessel? Are some chosen and others doomed to a life of mediocrity? To know that you are chosen is an awesome feeling indeed. It is a revelation that could give us so much joy and so much confidence in life. This has often made me to ponder. If you are going to be a force to be reckoned with in your chosen profession, you must pass through some things. Being chosen implies that no matter what, you are destined for greatness. You can be an achiever, regardless of your background. Being chosen is exciting, rewarding, and fulfilling. Being chosen guarantees that in spite of it all, you will still come out on top. The journey of a chosen vessel is the pathway we must follow to discover the greatness that God has promised us. This book is an in-depth analysis of the journey of a chosen vessel. It begins with a calling. It is founded upon a conviction. It is sustained by a covenant. It will present contradictions. It will require courage. It utilizes a candlestick. It involves a company, and it brings about a contribution to your generation and to posterity. Join me as we take this journey together, and please open your hearts and minds, because I can assure you that you have not passed this way before. God bless you, and be inspired.
Welcome back to Riot. Welcome back to Radical Impartation of Truth. So, today is meant to be the anniversary of the kidnapping of the Chibok girls. Now, before and I would really like to know your thoughts on some of these things as someone who has been in the legal field, someone who is into media now. And many years back, at least about 7 years ago, I used to get on air and I used to talk about these things, and I used to get a lot of resistance from people. The Chibok girls are not the first set of girls that have been kidnapped.
Yeah.
They had been kidnapping them for a long time.
That's right.
Now,
and I think that's, sorry to cut you, I do think that that's important for people to know that the Chibok girls are really just a representative of the kidnaps that have been going on for a long time.
And it is really shocking, but what they used to do then, and I've dealt with people who are involved with caring for the victims, they would kidnap these girls, they'll kill all the men they can kill, take the girls, especially the younger ones and the women, but the girls in particular, they would impregnate them, wait till they're about 7 months, then send them home. That was what they were doing way before the Chibok girls. And I remember speaking with someone who was personally dealing with one of the fathers. He felt so bad, and he's like, what will I do with my daughter? My daughter is pregnant for a terrorist, for a Boko Haram person. And so they would take the daughter and go and hide, because the whole community, the stigma, is like, we don't want someone who is carrying a terrorist among us. I mean, it's just very painful. And those people need attention, they need care, they need help. You know?
Yeah, I think that's one of the really, really sad parts of the whole story. And in my mind, it is a deliberate attempt by the terrorists to destabilize the communities as well as those that they've taken away. So as you say, they start off by killing as many men as they can, taking the girls away, and then sending them back. I mean, on one view, you might say, well, the lesser of evils, on one view, on the terrorist view, would be to take the girls and take them, but they deliberately send them back pregnant to continually destabilize the communities. And I think that it's really important for the communities to understand that that's what's going on. And I know that it's difficult because we all have our cultures and our tribal mannerisms, and nobody wants to be attached to a terrorist in any way or another. But when your child comes back,
I mean, it's just heart-wrenching, some of the things that people have to face, especially when these kids are taken, they are raped and impregnated and then sent home. I mean, it was because of the global silence that grew. They didn't just go and kidnap hundreds. They used to kidnap maybe 50 or 10, and no one was complaining. There was no outcry. So we have to take responsibility. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are about this, but I would like to throw it out to the audience. I mean, let's know what you think about this. What do you think is the way forward?